Department heads, you will be asked a series of questions related to your budget information that you have pre-submitted to this committee for review. Please answer as completely as you can. However, if any answers to our questions require more than a brief explanation, you may indicate so and provide a more thorough response to the committee in writing. Also, in order to complete our examination of your budgets, it may be necessary to for us to forward you some additional questions after tonight's hearings. I just want to give you the lineup for tonight. Tonight, we are going to start with immigration. Second will be probation. Third will be the public defender's office. Fourth, the alternate public defender. Fifth, assigned counsel. And number 6, the county attorney. We will now have majority counsel take attendance.
Madam Chairwoman, Ms. Willingham.
Present.
Reedy.
Here.
Alex. Present. Camiso.
Here.
Demolowitz.
Here.
Ray Joyce.
Present.
Lakakis. And Bergdorf and Grimm are excused this evening.
Okay, our chair lady is here, Ms. Joanne Cunningham. We also have the chair of the law committee, Jeff Kuhn. Who is also a member of the Audit and Finance Committee, and chair of public safety, which is Frank Camiso. So I'll start down this side of the table. If your name has not been called, please introduce yourself and keep going, and then we will begin.
Danielle Gillespie, 12th District. Danielle Gillespie, 12th District, Albany. Vicky Plotsky, 38th District, New Scotland, Bethlehem.
Bill Worthcard, I'm Chair of Public Works, 17th Legislative District, City of Coos.
Dennis Feeney, District 29, Western Gilbert.
And our majority leader.
And I'm majority leader.
Susan Petto, District 5, Albany.
Tim Lane, Colony, District 14.
Ellen Rosano, District 24, and Chair of the Social Service Committee.
Matt Miller, District 36, Selkirk, Glenmont.
Susan Larillier, Alleged District 22, Latham Colony.
Okay. All right, let us begin. We're going to start with immigration assistance and Evelyn Kemp. Thank you very much.
Good evening, Madam Chair and members of the legislature. My name is Evelyn Kenna, and I'm the Director of the Immigration Assistance Center. Thank you for this opportunity to be here this evening. This office works primarily with court-mandated attorneys in 14 counties in New York State within an area designated as Region 3. These are attorneys who are assigned to represent a non-citizen client in criminal court or a family court proceeding. Through my office, attorneys have access to training, legal advice, and the support they need to fulfill their legal duty to their non-citizen client in compliance with the requirements established in the Supreme Court case known as Padilla v. Kentucky. When we assist these attorneys, they in turn are able to guide their non-citizen clients to make informed decisions regarding any adverse immigration consequences that may arise in their criminal court case or family court case. The 14 counties that fall within my jurisdiction are Albany, Clinton, Essex, Franklin, Fulton, Hamilton, Montgomery, Rensselaer, St. Lawrence, Saratoga, Schenectady, Warren, and Washington. We also provide continuing legal education trainings about the intersection of immigration law, criminal law, and family law to these attorneys, as well as other interested parties, such as judges and other immigration providers. In addition to these primary responsibilities, we also assist non-citizens in Albany County with other immigration issues that they may need help with. To do so, we work very closely with a referral network system of local immigration partners to make sure that the individuals seeking immigration assistance are being referred to the right partner, providing the specific service that the non-citizen is seeking. These services include assistance with immigration applications or even assistance with immigration court. A broad coalition of local immigration groups continue to work together to provide immigration services for non-citizens in Albany County. Our key projects for next year will continue to be prioritizing our primary area of expertise, which is to advise court-mandated attorneys within the 14 counties in New York State. We will also continue to advocate for and support the efforts of the organizations in the Immigration Coalition that work directly with non-citizens, and we will provide assistance to these groups as needed. We also provide pertinent immigration information on our website for attorneys and for the general public. This information includes know your rights types of information and being prepared in case of interaction with ICE. Regarding the department's budget, there are 4 full-time positions. All the positions in the budget are currently 100% funded through grant monies that we receive from New York State Office of Indigent Legal Services. Our current 3-year grant period runs from January 1st, 2024 through December 31st, 2026. All positions proposed in the budget will continue to be fully funded under this grant for the entirety of the grant period. And all funding levels contained in my budget are sufficient to maintain current service levels in 2026. And with that, Madam Chair, I'm open to questions.
All right, thank you very much. Tonight, I will be deferring to the chair of the Law Committee first, if he has any questions, and then I'll move to the Audit and Finance Committee, and then also the rest of the legislature.
Okay, great, thank you, Madam Chair. Some quick questions. Am I reading this correctly? There are 4 people in your office?
Yes.
Okay. Just to pressure test some of these things, your office supply budget in 2024 was $117, but then it increased to $5,000 in 2025, and that's the same in 2026. What is that comprised of?
We use that for training purposes. We have training programs that we ourselves go through so that we stay abreast of the changes in the law and of the changes in the policy. So that covers our training and our case management system that we use to maintain our files.
Your office supplies is training? Your office supplies line item is training?
No.
That's what I was asking about, your office supplies. Went from $117 in '24, now it's $5,000.
Well, a lot of those funds are just in the lines and they serve as a buffer.
Yeah, can I jump in
Yeah,
for 1
go
second?
ahead.
So just to clarify, when you're looking at the different years, the 2024 is the actual expended, so not the budgeted amount
Dave?
for that year?
What page are we on?
129, ma'am.
129, thank you.
So for her department, she budgets $5,000 a year. 2024 was a low usage year. This is also a budget that you have to submit to the state as part of the grant, correct? And was approved ahead of time, so it's gonna be off a little bit, but the 2024 is the actual spend versus the budgeted.
Okay, so the actual spend was $117.
Out of the
budget is
5, yeah.
5,000.
Yes.
Okay. Same basic question, I guess then, about conferences and training tuition. Actual spend in 2024 was $2,800, but the budget is $30,000.
We usually leave funds in the line so that we can do budget modifications as we need them, and we work with ILS to be able to do that. So at any point, if we need to move money from one line to another, then we're able to do that, and that's just the practice.
Okay. Can you talk about fees for service? Same kind of phenomena here, $2,400 in 2024, tenfold increase to 24,000. What is fees for service supposed to?
Same, the same practice. We use those funds for trainings, basically.
So it sounds like these are for sort of unknown future expenses. This is going to account, these funds aren't really going to be used for these line items, but for the idea is that they would be reallocated at
It's
some time in the future.
anticipated. It's anticipated that the funds will be used for that purpose, but if it's not, and we need to move it to a
Can you,
different line,
excuse me,
it's anticipated that the funds will be used for that specific purpose, but if it's not, and another line has run lower than we expected, then we're able to move those funds to that other line to balance our budget. And we do that through a budget modification with ILS.
And what happens when those funds don't actually get used?
They do.
Okay.
If they were to not be used,
Yeah.
there's a set amount of the grant, anything beyond the grant would then not be taken out of the county coffers at the county share of $100,000 roughly per year. Otherwise, it would go back to the state or rolled over to the following year. But because this is authorized multi-year ahead of time, that's why we don't touch that in our budgeting cycle. We keep it aligned with what the state had already approved.
And that's why we're able to move it around, because the grant is for a 3-year period, and we have the funds available to us for that period.
Okay. All right. I have no more questions. Thank you.
all right, thank you. Mr. Reedy?
Thank you, Chair. Ms. Kenna, could you just provide us a brief statement regarding any issues or challenges your office faces as a result of presenting indigent non-citizens here in Albany County?
Representing non-citizen clients?
Or challenges from non-citizens presenting here in Albany County?
Well, we have a very specific and narrow mandate in our grant funding, and what we do is we work directly with the attorneys who are representing those clients. So our grant does not allow us to do any direct representation. So what we do is we train the attorneys who are directly representing those clients. That's the role that we play in Albany County. And our clients are the Public Defender's Office, the Conflict Defender's Office, and the Assigned Counsel Panel. So those 3 offices in each county, I work directly with those offices, with the attorneys in those offices, and help them with their cases without me doing any direct representation myself, since it's not allowed under my grant.
And any challenges with that?
Well, in the current climate that we're in, we're noticing that, we're getting more cases, and we're getting more questions about what somebody should do if, they have an encounter with ICE, and, those providers are concerned about the heightened environment that we're in. So we have a lot of information on our website that gives them guidance on what they should or should not do. And that information is for the attorneys, and it's for the general public as well. And we try to keep that information up to date, including case law, any policy changes, or anything that is pertinent to the work that we do.
Thank you.
All right, now, I'll entertain questions from and members of the Audit and Finance Committee and the rest of the legislature at this moment. Okay, Ms. Petro.
2 questions regarding the regional aspect of your office. First of all, how does that work? Is the entire budget for your funding coming through just Albany County, and then you are authorized to serve the other regions as well? And also, seems like that would involve some travel, and I'm not really, there's a travel mileage rate, and is that sufficient for the amount of travel that you must be doing?
Yes, the answer to your second question is yes. The answer to your first question is that Albany County secures the grant for Region 3, which is the 14-county region, and that money from Indigent Legal Services flows through Albany County for the provision of services to the 14 counties. There are 5 other offices that are identical to my office, and they cover other counties in New York State. So between the 6 regional immigration assistance offices, we cover the entire New York State. And so the grant is funneled through a host county, and in this case, it is Albany County for the 3-year period.
Thank you. Mr. Joyce?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I thought I read recently that legal funds under state aid revenue was going to be halted by the White House. Is this money assured for 2026?
Yeah, this is state funding.
Yeah, I don't think this
It's
starts
not
with the
federally,
feds, it starts with the
No.
state.
county? Okay, good enough.
Mr. Miller?
This question may be more for Dave, but on the hospital medical, it's doubling this year and it looks like 500% from 2024.
So this had come up in another department, I believe, on Monday. So my team started looking into it. Sadly, I don't have a better answer than the person who supplied our department with those breakdowns between departments was using a model that had some bad inputs to it.
Okay.
Thankfully, the good side of that is that person is no longer in human resources, and the person who made the new model actually fixed it.
Okay, so they'll be adjusted in the
Yes.
final. Thank you.
Normally, these would have to get cleaned up as part of the comptroller's year end.
I knew it came up Monday.
Shuffling the money, because we had the right amount in total.
Right. But we heard that
Breakdown.
Monday, but not an answer, so that's the answer if we see that again.
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Yes,
Can I
yes,
just
Mr.
ask a
Ricard.
follow-up question? And it was legislator Petto who actually brought it up. And I think, Dave, you're going to probably answer this. So she's actually in play of Albany County, right? And the grants flow through,
Yes.
through Albany County, which you just alluded to.
Yep.
So are we reimbursed by those other counties in any way for I know it's going through the grant, all of our money.
The grant takes care of all of it.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's
So there's no need for
100%
reimbursement?
through ILS.
Correct.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. All right, we have no further questions? All right, thank you very much.
Thank you and good night.
Thank you. All right.
We have before us now the Probation Department. Director is Mr. William Connors, budget pages 156 through 160.
Good evening, Madam Chair, legislators. If I can just talk about probation in general and go over some of our mission objectives. The mission of the probation department is to improve the lives of all persons we work with in the criminal justice system. We seek to change the outcome of individuals by using many techniques, such as motivational interviewing, decision points, and a variety of other evidence-based programs. We serve all courts in Albany County by conducting pre-sentence and pre-dispositional investigations, providing intake, diversion services, and supervising all adult and juvenile offenders. We continue as a lead agency for bail reform monitoring in Albany County. We also supervise Raise the Age youth. The probation department is also a designated collection agency for the disbursement of court-ordered restitution in Albany County. We currently have several vacancies. Our recruitment and hiring efforts have changed with the approval of New York State Helps. It has streamlined our efforts by removing civil service testing. New York State Helps allows hiring without a certified civil service list. If a candidate meets the minimum requirements of a 4-year degree in a social science field, they are eligible. We continue to advertise on Indeed in the Albany County Civil Service portal. We did hire 11 new staff through today and working on several additional hires in 2025. Hiring continues to be a priority. The job of a probation officer is not easy. It requires strong communication skills and writing skills, the ability to treat all fair and consistent, making difficult decisions in the best interest of society, all while maintaining professionalism when dealing with difficult offenders. Probation officers work with many types of offenders, often convicted of violent crimes. They collect DNA, test for drugs and alcohol, visit offenders in their homes. Person interested in the functions of a probation officer is often much more than they realized. With the requirements of probation officer certification in partnership with Schenectady and Rensselaer County Probation Departments, we are now certified to conduct our own fundamentals of probation practice. Our first class was held at St. Rose College. 19 trainees attended and graduated. This is the first step in training and certification as a probation officer. We continue with several programs within the probation department. One is the DMV pre-permit class. So this class is a preparation class in order to receive a license. Once they complete the pre-permit class, they would then attend a 5-hour pre-licensing class. We are certified to provide the DMV pre-license certification. We're the only probation department in New York State that has obtained the certification. We also provide a financial education component. Many persons on probation are court ordered to pay fines, fees, and restitution, and this helps provide education and financial literacy needs over wants. We also have a mental health peer support group, which we partner with Albany County Mental Health. Peer support specialists and a probation officer run a weekly group with our clients that are mentally ill. We also just received a new grant called Strive. This is a new grant through DCJS. It will provide a 0.5 salary of a probation officer in overtime. This is a partnership with our DA office, the Albany Police, and Equinox here in Albany, continuing to reduce harm to victims of intimate partner violence. We did have a slight budget increase. We're trying to expand our Raise the Age programming. Included in our budget was a request for several staff, which are Raise the Age and 100% reimbursed by New York State. These Raise the Age positions would manage an evening reporting center for youth. This center will provide structured programming, case management, clinical services, schoolwork assistance, and most importantly, transportation for youth in the evening when the program wraps up. The types of individuals we supervise has changed with bail reform and Raise the Age legislation. These laws have placed many offenders on probation and bail reform monitoring with weapon charges. The violent offender has changed how we conduct community visits. We are often now accompanied with police. In years past, we have witnessed incidents of offenders with loaded guns entering the probation department and offenders in front of the probation department displaying a firearm. Our efforts continue to not only hold offenders accountable through graduated sanctions, but also to provide a meaningful skill-building programming to help all become law-abiding, productive members of the community. Sentences of probation range from 1 year to 10 years, even lifetime in certain convictions. We work with individuals for lengthy periods of time. We receive persons convicted of larceny, robbery, assault, sex crimes, domestic violence, drugs, weapons, alcohol-related, and many others. Probation clients struggle with employment, education, substance abuse, homelessness, and mental health. We continue to see an increase in GPS tracking court orders. We have also seen an increase in the risk of level of offender, seeing many more difficult, more serious convictions. The executive budget allows probation staff to continue providing excellent service to the courts and probation clients of Albany County. I am now available for any questions you may have.
Okay, again, I'll defer to the chair of the law committee, Mr. Kuhn, and then to the chair of public safety with this Frank Committee.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just going through the budget, it seems like the most significant line item increase year over year is fees for services raise the age, which was $437,870 in 2024 expended, and 593,000 or so adjusted 2025, and that doubles to about 1.2 million in 2026. Can you explain what that line item is and the
Yeah.
reason for the increase?
So we continue to advance programming for our HCH clients. HCH funding is 100% reimbursable. I just had discussed our addition for next year to add an evening reporting center that would pay for several staff and a contract with a local agency to provide in-house for us to run that program. But RTA fees for services pays for all the programming that provides for HCH clients.
Okay, great.
All right, thank you. Mr. Commissaire?
I have no questions for him.
Okay, thank you. Justin?
Thanks, Madam Chair. Mr. Connors, thanks for discussing your recruitment strategies. My question is, with the current vacancies you do have, has that hindered or kept your department from meeting its mission?
It's difficult with less staff. It causes increased work levels for probation officers, increased caseloads. We try our best to disseminate work evenly among all members, all staff members. But our mission is not hampered. We meet all of our standards. We continue to hire. We lose people through retirement and through a lot of our people go to different state agencies here. We're local, and a lot are going to other law enforcement or DCJS agencies after receiving a couple years' experience here.
Thank you.
All right. Mr. Demolowitz?
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Could you just touch on the new positions and how they help better run your office?
Yeah, the new persons, the RTA positions I just talked about, so they would actually be assigned to work an evening shift, something like a 1 to 9. They'd be in our office, they'd come in, check the rolls, what's going on with their kids if they went to school, and then they'd go to the facility that we're going to contract with, and they'd be there for youth for the evening, providing all the programming and services that we're going to offer.
You hired 3 more raise the age probation officers?
Yeah,
From 9 and 9 to 12?
they would be specifically designed for only raise the age duties, yes.
Thank you.
All right. Yes, Ms. Leroy.
Hi, good evening.
And can you please speak up? We can't
Yes,
hear
I
you.
know, I haven't. Good evening. So I had a quick question, on your next year project regarding truancy and what your plans are to implement a truancy prevention program, if you could explain.
Sure. This is a problem in Albany County, most seriously in our cities, truancy. I'm currently working with the executive, and met with several school districts in Albany, Ravenna, Hose. We're working on implementation of a probation officer with a social worker with the school district and maybe even a law enforcement officer, some type of programming where we go through the roles each day who is absent, where we may conduct a home visit, talk to the parents, and try and get that youth to school.
Yeah, just a follow-up. I know when you were here earlier this year with the district attorney's office, I believe the sheriff, you talked about truancy and trying to get to students sooner than later. Is that part of your plan?
It is, yeah. So we're seeing the biggest truancy in Albany City, and then we see some of our outlying cohorts, Waterloo and Ravenna, for Ravenna School District. But the school district files PINS petitions. We still accept PINS petitions for truancy, and that starts the process for us to get involved. And then we'll meet with the families, review what's going on, talk about their issues, and offer them services, and try and get those youth to school.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Mr. Reedy?
Thanks again. the budget documents do, detail some of the employment retention issues. Can you explain how the employee wellness program is designed to help with staff retention? And is there anything else that can be done, for that issue?
Yeah, our retention program is we take staff a couple times a year to one of our local parks in Wesleys Lake. We run through a lot of programming, get them out of the office, get them in a different environment. What was your second part of the question?
Is there anything else that you think can be done?
To retain staff? We try everything we can to retain staff. Unfortunately, some people look to the state for other types of employment, and they transfer to state jobs. A lot of our people have left for some type of law enforcement job or state jobs.
What's next? All right, thank you. Ms. Rosano.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I was wondering if you could speak a little bit about the program at St. Rose.
The fundamentals of probation practice? Yes. So during COVID, the state did not provide adequate training for us and other departments in New York State to continue the certification process. So there's two certifications a probation officer needs to complete within 1 year. One is fundamentals of probation practice, and the second is peace officer certification. The peace officer certification is given at Zone 5 Academy in Schenectady. We currently contract with them. That's provided, that's about an 8-week program. And the second portion primarily has been provided by New York State in the past, and they weren't offering it timely for us. We couldn't get our people trained and certified adequately. So we, in partnership between Schenectady Probation and Rensselaer County Probation, which much more additional training and certification, we were able to obtain our own certification to run our own school for fundamentals of probation practice.
Now, is that just open to Albany County?
No.
It's
Rensselaer County, Rensselaer, Schenectady, and I think we had someone from Ulster County and Warren County also attend too.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions? Thank you, Mr. Connors.
You're welcome. Thank you very much.
Next, we have the Public Defender's Office, the budget page numbers 161 through 164. And I believe we have with us the Chief Assistant Public Defender, Matthew Alpern, and the Director of Accounts, Keith Bulateo.
Mulatto, yes.
Mulatto, almost.
Good enough. Wow, I went to bed.
Please proceed.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for taking the time to listen to us. I'm pleased to present the proposed 2026 budget for the Albany County Public Defender Office. This budget reflects a fiscally responsible approach focused on controlling costs while continuing to provide high-quality legal representation to those who cannot afford it. In collaboration with the county's executive team and the Department of Management and Budget, we've developed a forward-looking plan that supports continued staff growth. This will help us better serve our clients and meet the attorney caseload standards established by the New York State Office of Indigent Legal Services. To address ongoing recruitment and retention challenges, the budget includes a proposed restructuring of the attorney salary scale. These adjustments are primarily funded through an amendment to the second statewide expansion of Harrell Herring grant from ILS. We've also proposed a net decrease in non-personnel contractual costs compared to 2025. A substantial majority of our 2026 funding comes from ILS with additional support from the New York State Division of Criminal Justice Service. We're currently in our second year of the statewide expansion grant, which provides the bulk of our funding. That runs from April 2024 to March 31st, 2027. And we have also recently received the second round of funding through DCJS's Aid to Discovery Reform and Supplemental Programs, which began in 2023. And at this point, I'm happy to answer any questions that folks may have.
Thank you. I'll defer to Law Committee Chairman Jeffrey Kuhn.
Sure, thanks. My only question is on the line graph. I'm assuming your office prepared, it's on page 162 of of our packet here. It's titled Case Breakdown for 6 months. And it's this particular,
Yes.
you see it?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. I was just curious, it looks like that there's cases in violent felonies, other felonies, misdemeanors and violations, but then the next 4 categories, do those basically zero out to nothing? So no parole violations, post dispositions, appeals of guilty pleas, or appeals of a verdict? Am I reading this correctly?
That, I think, the graph might not kind of accurately represent things. There's a very active parole representation part of our office. We've got a couple of lawyers devoted to that, and there's parole revocation cases that are very common. We've got a different graph for how many cases we've opened. We're on track now overall to open 10,000 cases this year. So that our numbers have shot back up to where they were pre-pandemic. And so we've seen an increase. I think we have we can give you specific numbers on parole.
Yeah, so for 2025, we're projected for violent felonies about 590, other felonies almost 1,800, and then what is distorting the graph there is misdemeanors and violations, almost 5,000. So I think that's what's making the others seem almost like zero when they're not. Parole violations, over 300, post dispositions, about 240, and then in our family court, we're projecting to open over 2,200 cases this year.
Okay, so it's really a scale issue.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. All right. And then are the appeals, so the appeal issue, are those like zeroed out, or are they just sort of?
I think it's a lower number, and they also may, those can go on from a while, for a while. But I think we have one person that's dedicated toward appeals, so even if those numbers get to be like 30 to 50, it becomes a very heavy appellate caseload for that person.
Great, thanks. That's all.
Thank you. I'll defer next to Public Safety Chairman Frank Camisto.
Satisfied as presented.
Thank you. I'll start with the Audit and Finance Committee questions. Can you discuss briefly your office's focus on investments in staffing, training, and technology, and how it shapes the budget for 2026?
Yes, and I think this may be sort of a split answer, because I think Keith could handle the technology piece and I can handle the training piece. So one of the things that was identified in the original Harrell-Herring lawsuit that got the 5 initial counties sued was a failure to adequately train and supervise lawyers. So at least since I've been here, there's been a real focus on making sure that we train and supervise our lawyers really well. So lawyers are now, what's happening is we've, in addition to internally developing a training program for new lawyers, which is almost an 8 or 9 week program for our new folks, lawyers are really taking advantage of state programs, local programs, occasionally national programs. Some of our budget, we've been working with Gideon's Promise, which is a national public defender training organization, and so we've been encouraging and using funding for training. And so I think that's one of the areas where it's a metric of quality improvement if your lawyers are being trained. And I think the fact that we're starting to have a larger budget and using those funds, to me, is a very good sign.
And then in terms of technology, we implemented last year the use of Axon Justice, which allows us to store and review discovery that's provided from the prosecution more efficiently. And in 2026, we're looking and analyzing whether we will need a better case management system that can help us manage cases as well as the mitigation aspects of each case.
Thank you. I know you discussed some of the recruitment strategies you have regarding your vacancies. With the vacancies you do have, those hindered or kept your department from meeting its mission?
I wouldn't say it hinders, it has definitely not kept us from meeting our mission. I think there's a natural transition that sometimes happens with lawyers who have been there for a while, and I think particularly as our office has developed a better reputation and gotten better over time, people have been getting opportunities. So we've got, for instance, Shane Hugg is now the assigned counsel administrator, so we lost him to a different job. Gabriela Romero got elected to the assembly. We've seen people go into private practice. So that part of it, when we lose experienced lawyers, it does put a strain on the rest of the staff. I know for myself, to help mitigate against that, I now have like a very substantial caseload as well, in addition to my administrative responsibilities to try to spread the caseload out. And recruitment of experienced staff generally is a problem statewide. I think a lot of offices, when people get to a certain point, they may do different things. One of the ways that we're addressing it though is we've been hiring by attorney class, and we're in our third year of recruiting. So the first year we succeeded in recruiting 8 new lawyers, and last year we succeeded in recruiting 6. This year we've got 3 already that have accepted, 2 offers that are outstanding, and then we're expecting to be able to get about 8. And so if you kind of strategically project out, what's going to happen is those folks will move into the felony positions. A lot of them already, the ones that were in our first class, they're already handling felony cases, and so we're trying to address the staffing issue as best we can. Right now, I think we have like 12 vacancies, but we're anticipating 5 to 7 people coming in, and so we're really, if we can find 1 or 2 more lawyers that have some experience that want to come to our office, that will help. But the truthful answer is the caseload pressures are real. The discovery that we receive is voluminous, and it takes hours to review. There's video, body camera footage. It's very voluminous. So it does, when we lose folks, it does put strain on people. But I think our numbers are, we're getting close to being full if we can meet that point.
Thank you. Mr. Demolis.
Thank you. Could you just explain your enhanced pay line in your fees for service lines? Page 163. The enhanced pay is $282,000, and this year was $497,000. Then you have a
So our
fees for
enhanced,
services.
in 2025, the enhanced pay line is used for our CAFA attorneys, which is the Counsel at First Arraignment Program, which is completely funded by a specific CAFA grant from ILS. And there was an increase that was implemented in 2025 that increased the weekly stipends to the attorneys that perform those duties. There's a team of 4 attorneys that are available 24/7 on weekly schedules. So those fees were increased in 2025.
And they come out of the enhanced pay line?
Enhanced pay, right.
Instead of a line for them?
Correct, that's where it's coming out of.
That's a grant?
Correct.
100% state?
100%.
So when the grant's gone, they're gone?
If the program.
Yeah, I mean, if the grant went away, I guess it might affect our ability to, cover arraignments all on off hours, because the grant is what motivates people to get up at 2 in.the morning and drive to Westerlo or another part of the county where it's, where they have to appear for an arraignment. I think it was one of the first issues that ILS really worked at, because the chief judge at the time made it a priority because people were being unrepresented at a critical stage of the proceeding. And so I would anticipate that this would keep going forward, because otherwise the state would fall back into violating the 6th Amendment, and it would be very problematic. And the other thing too is there may at some point become a centralized arraignment part, which will make things a little bit easier, and I think there's a lot of stakeholders who've been working on that. I have not been directly involved in that piece, but that might affect things down the line.
Can you explain why this year you budgeted $64,000 in your fees for services, and in '25 it was $157,000?
Yes, we had in that fees, out of that fees for services, we had a partnership with Partners for Justice, which placed 2 mitigation workers in our office full-time. That program has since been discontinued, so that's why we are able to lower our budget need in that line for next year.
And my last question is the New York State Indigent Legal Service caseload standards. Are we, with the reorganization, in line to meet their quality?
Yes, so this plan, I think, was developed originally in 2017. The Office of Indigent Legal Services assessed what caseload was and how many lawyers we would need to get to that point. And where we've been chipping away at that and are getting close. And if we can maintain, filling the 12 vacancies, we would be satisfied with that.
Thank you.
Any other questions from Audit and Finance members? Any questions from all of our legislators? Thank you, Mr. Alpern, Mr. Bellato.
Thank you.
Next is the alternate public defender. We're in budget pages 71 through 74. And we are joined by Ms. Tina Sode.
Good evening, everyone.
Evening.
I feel like I'm the loudest one here, or at least it sounds like here. So, as many of you know, the Alternate Public Defender's Office provides legal representation to individuals who are unable to be represented by the Public Defender's Office due to a conflict. Year to date, my office has already exceeded last year's case numbers by 262 cases. We have been assigned more homicides and attempted murder cases this year compared to the same time last year. Thus, my budget currently has 2 additional attorneys that I added for next year, which will help to reduce the caseload per attorney and allow us to maintain the quality of representation that we provide to our clients and what they deserve. With respect to funding, it is 100% state funded by Indigent Legal Services, so no cost to the county. Also, to ensure parity with the Public Defender's Office, Indigent Legal Services has also provided my office with funding for a criminal court case manager. And if you look at my budget, the majority of my lines, if not every line, is either partially or fully funded by the state, including any salary increases that I have ever requested. Regarding my contractual expenses, the only line that reflects any change is the discovery line from last year. And even that is not truly a change. It reflects the same amount that I have consistently budgeted each year, which is the $26,500. Last year, we received a grant from DCJS through the Aid to Defense for Discovery Reform. Once we received those funds, I allocated my office's portion to pay for Axon services, covering the first 5 years of a 10-year contract. Thus is why that line was over $100,000. And because these grants are typically delayed by a year, I was uncertain when the current year's funding would be dispersed. As a result, I left the discovery line unchanged at the time of submission to avoid any overestimating. And however, we did receive this year's funding just this week, so at some point those lines will be updated accordingly. Additionally, for next year, although not listed in my budget currently, we anticipate receiving further funding from Indigent Legal Services for family court. We are currently awaiting our final funding figures and execution of the contract, so I'm sure budget at some point will be doing those amendments as well, but that will be extra revenue that will be provided to my office along with the Public Defender's Office. And although currently my budget reflects that it has, the amount has gone up or the county share has gone up, but as mentioned earlier during this meeting, if you look at the medical insurance line, once that line is corrected, my budget will fall below what my budget request to the county was last year, even with all the additional changes that I have proposed. So that's it for my office. Any questions?
Thank you. Law Committee Chairman Kuhn.
I have no questions. Thanks.
Thank you. Public Safety Chairman Missa.
No questions.
Thank you. Can you, I'll open it up to Audit and Finance Committee questions, and I'll start. Can you highlight any impacts the family court caseworker added in 2024 has had on programming for your department?
It was extremely helpful to have a caseworker. It allowed my attorneys to actually focus on litigating and allowed the caseworker to assist families with respect to assisting them with services or connecting them with services. Unfortunately, I lost my caseworker to another agency at some point, and so I'm currently in the position where we're looking to hire a new caseworker. I have conducted some interviews, it's just a matter of making a proposal to somebody, but that position will be filled hopefully next month. And my office had always, or in the last few months, we were short an attorney. That position has been filled as well, and by next month, my office will be fully staffed in all positions.
Thank you. Mr. Demowitz?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The specialty service line, what is that used for?
The specialized services line covers any expert services. So in any cases where we utilize any experts for either for trial or even any pretrial experts that are used by my attorneys. It also covers any transcripts that we request from stenographers or any court hearings or even trial transcripts.
Oh, okay. In 2025, the expenditures for discovery and storage was, you didn't spend anything, zero. In 2026, you proposed 26,500 decrease from the 150,000 and 25 expended budget. And you can just send this to us in writing. Can you just explain, no money has been spent, but additional money has been put in?
The reason it hasn't been spent is because my discovery storage line is what I used to pay for Axon. Last year was the first year that we got Axon and we signed our 10-year contract. So last year, once we got the DCJS funding, as I mentioned earlier, I paid for the first 5 years of that contract. Since it's grant-funded funds that I use to pay for it, I don't rely on if that grant is going to continue. So I didn't want to risk losing Axon after a year and then have that cost be covered by the county. So I paid for the first 5 years of the contract. This year, I haven't paid it the next 5 years because we hadn't received the DCJS funding yet. We did now receive it, so I will end up paying for the additional 5 years. Thus, by the end of the year, that line will be similar to what it was last year.
What is the Axon?
Axon is the storage system that both law enforcement and the district attorney's office and any public defender offices use. That's how our discovery is transferred to us. So the law enforcement puts their body cam on Axon, it goes to the district attorney's office, and then it gets transferred to my office.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Questions from other Audit and Finance Committee members? Any other questions? Thank you, Ms. Sodi.
I have one.
Oh, sorry, Madam Chair.
So Tina, you just said a second ago, when all is said and done, your budget's gonna be less than last year?
Correct.
So is that a good thing, or?
I think that's a very good thing, and the reason it's gonna be less than last year, even with all the changes that I have made, is because the state's provided my office with more funding
Okay.
than they had in the past.
Okay. So there's not any additional training money or other recruitment tools that you could envision?
For the fact that my office is, I guess, fully staffed, and the fact that I always look for experienced attorneys, no amount of training is gonna get me, or any recruitment abilities is gonna get me an experienced attorney. Any
I
experience.
meant like professional development kind of stuff.
Correct. For that, I do have the conference and training and tuition lines. So my attorneys do go to all the required trainings that we have or anything that they're interested in. I always cover the cost for those.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Sodi.
Thank you. Have a good evening, everyone.
Thank you.
Next, we have the Office of Assigned Counsel, budget pages 75 through 78. And we are joined by the Assigned Counsel Program Administrator, Shane Hugg.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody. My name is Shane Hugg, and I am the administrator of the Assigned Counsel Program for Albany County. Before I begin, I want to thank everybody for permitting me to speak here tonight. I want to thank the county executive and his team, as well as the Office of Management and Budget, for which must be a tireless task of preparing the budget that we all look at. The county's requirement to pay for public defense is both constitutionally and statutorily mandated. And the assigned counsel program is one of 3 public defense offices in Albany County which were designed to meet those mandates. Unlike the public defender's office or the alternate public defender's office, the assigned counsel program does not actually represent anyone personally. Instead, the office is responsible for approving payments to attorneys who have been assigned by the courts who are unable to afford counsel when there's a conflict of interest that exists, preventing them from being assigned to the public defender's office or the conflict defender's office. In addition to approving payments to the attorneys who've been appointed by the courts, our office also provides funding to those attorneys so they can retain experts and other services for their clients in order to provide them with adequate representation. As it relates to our budget, the assigned counsel program is funded by both state and county funds. With the exception of our senior attorney's part-time salary and our water bill for drinking water in the office, New York State fully reimburses the county to staff and supply the assigned counsel office. Again, other than the part-time salary for that one employee in our water bill, the office's programming and staffing needs are all met for and paid for by using state funds. Attorney claims, on the other hand, are a different thing. Those are borne in large part by the county. Attorney claims, which are the bills that lawyers submit to Albany County after they've completed their work and have been approved by the courts, seem to be growing every year, with the main driver of our claims being those that arise at a family court. In fact, family court claims this year account for about 83% of our total claims that have come in and about 70% of our costs. While the county does receive some reimbursement for these claims, in large part, again, these are borne by the county. So we've been trying to find ways, since we do receive state funding, to use that state funding to drive down these county costs where we can. Historically, that has been difficult because, again, the attorneys that are assigned cases have been assigned by the courts. That's changed recently with the passage of the assigned counsel plan, which was developed by my predecessor, Mr. DeBose, working with the county attorney's office and with the 12th floor. We think this will be a big driver of change and hopefully a big driver of change in costs. As I stated, presently the courts are the ones who assign attorneys where there's conflicts of interest, both in family court and in all of the criminal courts in Albany County. But with the passage of the assigned counsel plan, the assigned counsel office will be taking over that responsibility. We will begin directly assigning attorneys in family court and in all the criminal courts in Albany County. In doing so, we will not only have an eye on obviously assigning individuals who are qualified to do these important jobs, but also ones who are fiscally responsible. The court did not have that priority all the time. Our vision is to have our supervising attorney appoint individuals to represent people in criminal cases, and we are hopeful that we will be permitted to use increased funding that Ms. Sodi alluded to. We believe ILS is about to give us more funding on the family court side of things to hire a family court supervising attorney who would do the same as a supervising attorney, but on the family court side, which again is the big driver of our costs that are incurred by the county. By doing this, we will essentially be using state funds to drive down county costs. Now, taking over assignment of cases is going to be difficult. We're going to have our growing pains. It's going to require an adjustment to how we operate. It's something we've never done before, but it's also going to require an increase in staffing to effectively do so. The benefit of that is that all those staffing changes will be funded 100% by New York State funding, which we have already been guaranteed to last through March 31st of 2027. This is a big reason why you see changes in lines in our budget for this year. And again, this comes at no increased cost to the county. And if we're doing our jobs right, by taking over the assignment of attorneys, by appointing them with state-funded jobs, our hope is to actually drive down those county costs. In addition to taking over assigning cases, we are also seeking, and the budget contains new lines, to hire an investigator, an IT discovery technician, and a paralegal data specialist. While historically our office has provided private attorneys who've been assigned cases funds to go hire an investigator or an IT person to help with this influx of discovery, which is just growing exponentially every day, as stewards of taxpayer money, whether that comes from the county or the state, we feel it's our responsibility to try to provide those services in-house at a lower cost. That's our vision for the office. Our vision is to try to increase services that our constituents receive at a lower cost to the county, and we hope that with your help, we can start putting this vision into reality. I want to thank you for letting me speak about the program, and I'm happy to answer any questions that I can.
Thank you. Law Committee Chairman Kuhn.
Sure, great, thank you. So your total budget for the assigned council department is about $3.3 million. By far, the biggest line item is for about $2 million, $2.1 million for legal fees and transcripts. I was a little confused by that, but I think that it's really legal fees, right? I mean,
Yes,
it's the transcripts thing that threw me, but it's legal fees.
Our $2 million line in the budget pays for those claims that historically we've had no hand in trying to keep at a low level. So there is funding that is set aside. We're budgeted this year for $2,070,000, which is what we were budgeted for in 2025. And we're hopeful that we don't hit that. Our goal is not to hit that, right? Because most of that is borne by the county. So we're hopeful that those costs stay down. We spent about $1 million of that so far this year, give or take. So we're on track to stay below the $2 million, assuming that we don't get a massive influx at the end of the year with attorneys submitting their claims to our office to say, oh, wait, the holidays are coming and I've got this stack of cases I worked, let me get the billing out. So it's possible we see a large influx at the end of the year. I've only been here for 6 months, so historically, I don't know how that ebbs and flows, but my guess would be attorneys have time to come up for air in December. They know that presents need to be under the tree, so we'll probably see an increase in claims coming in.
Yeah, well, let me find out anything about attorneys. They wait till year end to send them a lot of bills, so that seems reasonable. Okay, yeah, so this large line item for legal fees and transcripts, that's the thing that you talked about, your efforts to try and kind of, I think, push some downward pressure on that through, talking about efficiency and same quality of services, but maybe delivered in some more efficient ways. So that all sounds good, and with that, I don't have any other questions.
Thank you. Public Safety Chairman Camissa.
Well, it sounds like you have your work cut out.
I'm trying.
Hopefully the next time you come before us, you're gonna have some good news and some savings.
I hope so. Yes, sir.
So with that, that's all I have to say.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Malowitz.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just have one question that sticks out to me. You have a senior attorney at $53,000. That seems awful low in comparison to all the other attorneys that work for the county.
Well, I told you, we're trying to keep our costs down. No, he is a part-time employee. He works 17 and a half hours a week, so his salary is essentially half of that of the supervising attorney because he works half the hours.
So that title should reflect part-time.
I don't know. Again, like I said, I've been here 6 months, whether that's
Maybe
normally.
the budget director can address that,
But that is a part-time employee. Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Opened up to other questions from Audit and Finance Committee members. And to everyone else, I'll start with Madam Chair Cunningham.
Sure. So there's a comment about risk areas in your memo that talks about that you're seeking to purchase a new case tracking and billing system. So that isn't something that other departments that do similar legal work would have?
Well, I'm sorry to interrupt.
No, and I'm just curious that, isn't there sharing among all of the different legal representation departments in the county for software programs, technology-based apps that support your work?
For some programs, I believe there is. We are seeking one that may be unique and different from the Public Defender's Office, the Law Department, and the alternate Public Defender's Office, based upon how our office is designed. We don't have any clients in our office, unlike those other departments, who have to do different things. Largely what our case management system would do, while it's called a case management system, what it effectively would be, we hope, is billing software. Billing software for the attorneys who submit their bills to the court and eventually to us. They can do it in this new software. We are required, if we intend to continue to receive funding, which funds our office, we are required to answer a whole bunch of questions on every criminal case that comes in. We have to collect data. The system that we hope to purchase would also be a data collection service. What a lot of my time is dealt with daily right now is emailing attorneys to say, hey, there's an error with your claim. You added this wrong. You forgot to check this box. You had to do this. We can't process your payment. This software that we are hopeful to purchase, if the bidding goes well, would correct all that. There would be no more time spent saying, hey, your billing is off, because the system would catch it and would not let them submit their bill. So we have different needs on those other departments as it relates to case management system. It would really be a data collection and a case billing system for us, and then the attorneys could use that for case management. It does have built-in capabilities to do that.
So you have budgeted for that to purchase that?
We are hopeful that we can purchase that either with these funds or with DCJS funding, and then try to find clever...
Are you going to pay for the water or just drink the faucet?
Yeah, we've got the water jug, the Culligan or whatever it's called.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Ms. Alex.
My question is regarding to the mentor program. It was funded in 2025, and I'm just wondering what that program is and why it's not being funded this year.
So the mentoring program was designed, ILS has a number of initiatives, right? For us to receive their funding, they have a bunch of goals and aspirations that they want us to meet, such that we don't run afoul of the issues that resulted in the state and 5 counties being sued, saying you've been violating the 6th Amendment by not properly funding and training attorneys. So the mentoring line was designed to have more experienced attorneys mentor less experienced attorneys. So if you're assigned a case by Judge Ackerman, let's say, in county court, and you say, oh man, I've never handled a case like this, maybe somebody else who's on this panel can assist me with that. Monies could be used for that purpose. Or if you just need training to say, hey, I've never cross-examined an expert on DNA. Can you maybe give me some insight on some of the things I would be looking to do? Those monies, because it is a new program, because we were just getting off the ground, have not been spent because we've been trying to meet our core objective, to make sure everybody, as an attorney, they are getting paid. I saw a way to try to redesign the office, but there had to be a give and take where that money would come from. Not only are we not requiring or asking the county for another cent for our budget, the state wasn't going to give us more money. We had to find clever ways to move the money around. So what our plan is moving forward is we zeroed out the mentoring line from $35,000, which wasn't used, to zero, and now our supervising attorney will provide mentoring to criminal attorneys. And if you are new to the panel, we envision creating a mandatory mentoring program where if you want to get onto the panel, you have to receive mentoring from our supervising attorney or myself. If you are a misdemeanor level attorney and you want to move up to felony, there has to be some guidelines. If we are lucky enough to get funding for family court, and we can get that family court supervising attorney, I envision having that person do the same thing. So the mentoring will not disappear. We'll have more of a role in doing so and more control over mentoring actually happening, I hope.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Thank you, Mr. Hug.
Well, thank you, everyone. Have a nice evening.
Good evening, members of the committee, honorable legislators, and distinguished guests. My name is Jeff Jameson, Albany County Attorney, and to my right is Jordan Huban, Deputy County Attorney. Thank you for the opportunity to be here this evening as you're reviewing the budget. We did submit responses to those questions, and I'll briefly have some opportunity to answer any questions related to those, but I just wanted to talk about a few of the initiatives and things that are happening within the law department. As you are aware, the Albany County Law Department, the County Attorney's Office represents every officer and employee within the county. We defend all claims against the county. We have, a lot of that work includes work more for some departments than for others, including departments like Children, Youth and Families, DSS, those work that happen within family court. And we also serve as prosecutors of criminal prosecution. So the district attorney's office, while they are in county court and family court for juvenile delinquency, we've seen quite a bit of a rise over the last 3 years. And our office is now charged with prosecuting murders, gang assaults, rape, and robberies. And you consistently heard this evening from members of the Public Defender's Office, Conflict Defender's Office, and Assigned Counsel that family court cases are on the rise. And the same is true in our office. We have proposed to make some adjustments within our department. There is an increase for one attorney in the budget, and that's one of the reasons for that. We've also made increases in salaries, modest increases that we are asking for, and those are reflective change consistent with some changes that this body had made this year to the district attorney's budget. This year, we also had taken the opportunity for many of our files within the office, old files that have been gathering dust, to be digitized through state contract that exists with NICID. So we're in the process of sort of cleaning the office and doing that. As most of you know, we have a new ECMS system, electronic contract management system, which allows for a quicker turnaround in digital signatures. I think it's been much more efficient and effective, and I think that the vendors also feel that way. Case management system was recently brought up. We had gone out to bid for a case management system, and we are in the process of awarding that bid. So you will be hearing from us shortly. Currently, the law department does not have a centralized case management system. They don't have it. We don't have it. So we need it. We need it for the purposes of accountability, for the purposes of generating reports, and to understand where our resources being spent, and to ensure that county resources are being spent at the right place and the right time. Interesting, I know recently Mr. Huggett talked about case management system, and I believe Madam Chairwoman Cunningham asked about whether or not there was coordination with other departments. In the response, we did have a vendor who specifically responded as to the assigned counsel. So when I put the RFP out, I wanted to ensure that while we were seeking a case management system, I included language that it could be used by public defender, assigned counsel, and alternate public defender, and any other legal entities within Albany County. I did not want it to limit that so that the responses could be inclusive for all the departments. So Shane and I just verified with him that it was that system that they responded to that he liked. So that's another thing that's happening. There's new and improved Westlaw system, which members of your body are currently using. It's an updated platform system which helps all of the attorneys throughout the county, including the district attorney's office, conflict defender, public defender, with better assistance in discovery and research. And that has been, at least we found in our office, a huge savings in time and resource. We have seen more recent rise in civil litigation as it relates to some matters in corrections cases, as everybody's probably heard. We'll continue to monitor that, but those resources are being spent on those increases. Other than that, I just want to address there were comments, I believe, or questions that were made as it relates to Albany County Attorney and whether or not the Albany County Attorney's Office is representative of every separate elected. And the answer to that is found within county law, within the charter, and then again within public officers law for the exception. So the short of it is yes, right? So the county law and then the charter specifically provided that Albany County Attorney is to represent all, not just all of the members, but every other person. And so we believe that we do that zealously, and if there is a situation where we believe outside counsel is needed, then one comes and it's applied. Our attorney, similar to other law offices, if a case comes to you, you perform a conflicts check, and if there's a conflict, then it may be assigned out. We've had cases in the past where there are individuals sued, not just the county sued, but other individuals are sued. There may be a potential for a conflict, so we've had, at times, multiple outside counsel been assigned for those different members in those cases. So there's specific case law, even as it relates to a comptroller in the County of Suffolk case. And in that matter, the comptroller was actually suing the county. So the county attorney represented the county, and the comptroller got outside counsel, which they paid for at the time, meaning the comptroller paid and then was reimbursed pursuant to Public Officers Law, Section 18. And the court specifically made a reference that it was a limited time, and that Public Officers Law, Section 18 was there for the defense and indemnification. Because there was an inherent conflict that the county attorney couldn't represent both of them in that specific action. Outside of that, the county attorney's office would represent each and every one that's here. So with that, I will leave it to Madam Chairwoman Willingham. Good to see you.
Well, thank you for your lengthy presentation. I will now defer to the chair of the law committee, Mr. Coon.
I don't have any particular questions, thanks.
All right. Okay, so I will start with, I believe, Dustin Reedy, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Can you explain your department's staff line changes, and will they help you better serve your client population?
The short answer of it is yes. And so the staff line changes, and I know this year's budget kind of looks a little bit different because there's mergers and changes in lines. But so when we talk about assistant county attorneys, and there's a Roman numeral next to it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, similar to assistant district attorneys, for the purposes of civil service, those Roman numerals are not relevant for the purpose of social services. So essentially, assistant county attorney 1 through 6 is the same position. So this year in the new budget, if you kind of do the math, what's taken out and what's added, and the part-time is eliminated, there's an additional 1 attorney that increased through that process. And I'm not sure if that's a lengthy answer to your question. That's pretty short. Yes, there is an increase in 1 position. And that is to meet the changes that are affecting the office, particularly the increased number of family court cases.
Thank you.
Thank you. Can you also comment on your use of legal interns to train potential candidates for openings in your department? And are there any opportunities to expand the practice with additional funding?
So the first part is legal interns. And interestingly, I had this question today because I thought that we had spent a little bit more money this year on legal interns, but evidently the legislative office, we had something, I believe it was actually paid out of through your internship program. So thank you. But I do intend to have more of that. I recently again have been in contact with Joanne Casey, who is the Director of Career Development at Albany Law School, for not only recruitment as it relates to attorneys, but also as it relates to internship programs and availability for students in the springtime to come early, not just for summer internship programs, but we would like that throughout the year as well. So yes.
Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Demolowitz.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Can you discuss the increase in your fees for services?
Sure, the fees for services line currently is being used for, and I think I had a chart on this. So there's increases, and that goes to outside counsel that's currently being used on some of the matters. There's an increase in, I will tell you, one of the firms that we use, they exclusively are being used for the purposes of labor work. Some of that work traditionally has been done by the Director of Employee Relations, which I served in that role for about 4 years. And currently, I do not believe that there is a Director of Employee Relations. So much of that work that would be done by the Director of Employee Relations is sort of outsourced. We, within the law department, myself, Pete Apostle, Sia Gugas, who's in the executive's office, also have a pretty fair amount of knowledge when it comes to that, and we do assist HR as well as the other departments in labor matters, but the bulk of the work that used to be done by the Director of Employee Relations, and at one time that salary was around 95, and with the fringe is about 150, that is not being expended anymore, and a bunch of that work is going to outside counsel.
And speaking of outside counsel, if you hired 3 attorneys, would that allow you to use more or less outside counsel?
The expectation is for us to, and there's some increase in for training and conferences as well, is to try to get the law department to a place, particularly having all the resources to get to a place where less outside counsel is needed. Everybody has recruitment and retention issues. We are addressing them. And, I will tell you, there are times that I was persistent in calling candidates 3-4 times to get them into the door. It's been successful sometimes, but you have to continue to do that, and I will. I think that Albany County, working for Albany County provides an opportunity to actually do work for your community, to actually provide real results for the place where you live. And it's important to tell people that. So it's important to tell, lawyers, young lawyers, people that have been around for a while, to say, come work for us. You want to feel good about doing something? Come work for us. Come help us. Tell me what you see in your community. And that's important to talk about. And not just for me as the county attorney to talk about or your, but everybody, right? Come work for Albany County. No matter what it is, there's a lot to do, and it takes us all to do it. So yes, we're continuing to recruit, and the expectation is that we want to see less outside counsel. There are specific cases where sometimes we feel that we need it because of the nature of the case and the specific expertise. I'll give you a perfect example. I think it was mentioned, the Hennepin decision that came out. There's about 30 different municipalities that have lawsuits against them, including Albany County. And we have a firm that we're engaged with because they're representing all 30 municipalities. It actually ends up being a savings because we only get charged a certain percentage of all the work that they do, and it's borne by everybody. So that's an example where expertise and guidance and consistency within all of the municipalities where that would work.
Jeff, there's no billable hours tonight, so.
I'm trying to be thorough in my response.
And the other thing, and you can send this to the chair in writing, could you send the chair a list of all the positions that are over 3%?
Yes.
Non-union positions?
Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, now, I'm going to open it up to the rest of the committee members and the legislature. Anybody have any questions? Ms. Gillespie.
One really quick question. Is the plan at some point to shift that labor work back to human resources?
I believe so. And that's, there's two parts. So, I know you don't want me to give a lengthy answer.
Short, sweet.
Here's what it is. Right now, I work with human resources on an everyday basis. So human resources contacts me, we have discussion every day about what is happening within the other departments. That's going to continue. Whether or not the determination is to fill that other position right now or have the continuation of Romer, Wellens, and Minot and Gold continue to do that work, I don't know. Right now, I think there's a cost savings for Albany County to have the expertise of that law firm to do the work. And because we have essentially an annual contract with them, we can squeeze a lot out of them for that monthly fee.
Okay, all right, Chair Lady.
Thanks. Thank you, Jeff. I appreciated your answer about sort of outside counsel or hiring counsels. As you know, the legislature has a lot of different counsels at our disposal. The chair, I have a counsel. We have a majority counsel. We also have a minority counsel. However, we make laws and we make policy. So it is very appropriate that we have all of that legal expertise. We have relied on the Office of the County Attorney for additional review of things that were outside our parameters. And we appreciate that you are at our disposal to do that. I would say that sometimes we don't particularly like your decisions, but appreciate that you give us your legal analysis. So I just wanted to make that point. My question is, and it was kind of partially answered, I too, like Gary, kind of have a bee in my bonnet, and I've had a bee in my bonnet about all of the outside counsel that the county does utilize. However, I know that we draw on different firms for different expertise. So the one I was going to ask about, but it sounds like they do our kind of HR employee litigation, and that is the Romer, Wallens, Gold, and Minot.
That's correct.
So if anybody is suing the county, does that include the correctional facility?
So, you mean, does Romer, Wellens, Minot, and Gold?
Do they do that work as well?
They do not.
Okay. And are they listed, the firm that the county utilizes there, or is that in a separate?
I believe that they're listed. So, much of the work for suits against the jail is handled within our office.
Okay.
Much of that work is handled within our office. And there's a few exceptions to that, but most of that work is handled. The other firm that handles some of it, I think, is Goldberg Segala.
Okay. I don't even see them listed.
Are they on there?
No.
I gotta.
You can provide that later. I just wanted to ask kind of where that
I will
is
provide a
handled.
detailed kind
But
of.
it sounds like it's out of your office mainly.
Yeah. So most of the corrections work is handled within office.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so, are there any other questions? Okay, so I have one. So I want to stay on this, this outside counsel. Just one more question. Since you don't have to worry, we don't have to worry about billable hours. So my question is this, when you talked about that list, which is somewhere, oh, here they are. Let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, okay. So just, if I'm to understand you correctly, or you can correct me, these five outside, or these 5 vendors, I'll call them, they all have specific or specialized areas that the county utilizes them for?
Yeah, so I'll kind of, so Whiteman, Osterman, and Hannah, a lot of that work is environmental work, and I know that, I'll give you an example, so Angelo Guadio at the sewer district, that's a lot of work that he does. Bond, Schenck, and King does investigatory work, and they've done some work for other different departments as well. Corrigan, McCoy, and Bush, that is a firm, specifically Scott Bush within that firm, handles many cases relating to attorney misconduct, meaning allegations made by clients against a assistant public defender, conflict defender, and you know, that's kind of the defense and indemnification piece that we provide for them. And Mr. Bush is, you know, well known to handle those matters.
Okay, so with that said, just another piece to that. We have, what, 3 vacancies?
So we have, there's a county attorney 1 position that is currently vacant and hopefully will be filled soon. We have a few candidates that are awaiting bar results, and so I have interviewed them and interviewing again. 1 position that is vacant is somebody that just left. I hired her, she was excellent, and she went to private practice. So we are actively recruiting and hoping to fill that. And the other one is a part-time position, which is going to be projected to be eliminated in the budget.
Oh, I see. All right, so the outside counsel, more or less, fill in the specialized areas that the county does not have?
That's fair to say, or, you know, when there's a overload. So for the purposes of, let's take sewer district, and Angelo has these issues dealing with Department of Environmental Conservation, that's a specialized area of law, and so we try to make sure that he has the most qualified person for that. I don't believe, though, that there's a necessity for the law department at this time to have such a specialized person within the office taking up that big of a salary. If it happens that we think that we're trending more in that way, then you know, maybe that will happen.
Okay. All right. Now, any other questions? If not, we want to bid you a good evening and thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
All right, so we have one more night. I didn't call for it. We have one more night, and that is tomorrow. And just let you know what that is. Human services. So we have social services, children, youth, and families, crime victims. We did not adjourn. Crime victims, veterans, health, mental health, aging, and the nursing home tomorrow. So we have 8. So again, come prepared. These are heavy hitters. Now, I will call for a motion. I got a motion, I got a second. Thank you very much.